This is PV Flower. The other day I was going through a quote by Yuji. It's actually not even a quote, but an excerpt from one of his many conversations. And it goes like, what is there to understand the significance of life? How long will it take to understand the significance and the meaning of life? 20 years, 30 years? And the same question will be there in another 20 years, I guarantee you, until you stop asking that question. When that question is not there, you are there. So that's the reason why you keep asking the question. You do not want the question to come to an end. When that comes to an end, there will not be anybody left there to find out the meaning, the purpose, and the significance of life, by Yuji Krishnamurti. So let's try to understand this quote. So if we take the first line itself, it says, what is there to understand? The word understand itself has an interesting etymology. It means to experience, survey, or measure. This, I feel, is the beginning of human problem, the need to experience things firsthand. However, how many of us are actually doing that? Not many. Understanding to us is listening to others or reading what others have written. It is no longer about exploring ourselves. And so it is not even an experience. We're essentially consuming others' knowledge. We're consumers. That's what I have called the human race in my books. Now, Yuji could be wondering because we don't even do that, like I said, because we don't try to understand, but consume. So then he hazards a guess, stating the age-old question we humans have had. So his next line in there is, what is the significance of life? So a lot of us are sold on finding this one. A lot of us. Being the most intelligent species, we must be able to decipher this, the meaning of life. I mean, how hard can it be? Here is what baffles me. Scientific community claims we evolved in Africa around 200,000 to 350,000 years ago. That means, or that seems like enough time to understand the significance of life. That's a lot, many years, considering we are social beings and that we share knowledge. And so by now, we should have deciphered it. If not, then by what measure do we call ourselves intelligent? Surprisingly, Yuji says something along those lines next in that quote. How long will it take to understand the significance and the meaning of life? 20 years, 30 years. Now, due to this significant lag in understanding life, I mean, we've been around for 350,000 years now, I wouldn't even say we can claim ourselves as the most intelligent even, as our measuring stick is based on what we know or what we can do. It is like rendering plants as not as intelligent as us. I mean, we know for sure that they are connected underground to the world and each other. Then they must surely have a way of communicating that we can't decrypt. I mean, how fascinating it is. How fascinating is the fact that they don't retaliate to anything being done to them and still prosper. There are extinct species, plant species. However, that is our documentation telling us, do plants care? I mean, we can't say for sure. We don't have that kind of intelligence. Now, going back to what Yuji's words were, I think this quest to understand life is an individual attempt and could also be, I mean, it's definitely a collective mission of humanity. Since this has been going on for a while, we are either digressing from this quest or purposely not acknowledging the answer, if there is an answer. Another theory is that perhaps at an individual level, this quest starts all over again. And each human being is seeking the answer to life, to the meaning of life. And that's why Yuji said this next. And the same question will be here in another 20 years, I guarantee you. So this statement seems to be contradicting something I feel is foundational to us humans, sharing knowledge. And so if others have found the meaning of life, I mean, we've been around for so long, somebody must have, then why do we begin at an individual level? Shouldn't we accept the conclusion that others have come to? I mean, we do that because I believe, maybe because I believe the answer is in the fact that we consider ourselves individual, unique. So we want to find the answer for ourselves. I mean, although we accept many things handed down to us, like I said, we still have the liberty to pursue things that don't necessarily impact the functioning of human society. So there are a lot of things that are handed down to us, which we have to accept because we have to appear, like Yuji said, as sane and intelligent, functioning human beings. Now, let's think about it. We only pursue things individually because we want to stand out. That's the main reason. The answer to understanding life is another race. It sounds like another race, or a spiritual race, or even a personal growth matter, self-awareness, or whatnot. And if it is a race, any kind of race, who cares? It means that there is an end. You can't keep running. But the finish line is only lucrative because there is a reward waiting for the winner. What if an end could mean a full stop and not rewards or accolades? Would you still pursue it? I mean, since we have invented the concept of infinity, we want continuation and not for things to end or get close-ended answers to our questions. We want answers as confirmation for something we want to pursue next. The answer is not to end the quest altogether. It's just we take the answer and we run towards something else. And a reward pushes us for some more. It keeps us encouraged. That's the reason Buddha didn't live in obscurity and died after being realized. He returned to the world that forced him to find the meaning of life and started preaching his understanding, as do so many other gurus. It is the best way to make your findings last, by sharing it. Therefore, the next thing that Yuji said in his quote makes a lot of sense. The line says, until you stop asking that question. And by saying this, I believe Yuji challenged the seekers. He continued to say, when that question is not there, you are there. So this gets very interesting from this point forward because many of us can not stand ourselves. We look for ways to shut ourselves down by engaging outwardly. We don't want to interact with ourselves. Enjoying our company is not workable by most. Even a one-way social media setting is also fine as long as we don't get in touch with ourselves, which I'm doing there, by the way, right now. And just to be clear, this self of ours is not your body. It is all the noise from all the ideas that you are subscribed to. And that is precisely why Yuji said what he said next. So he said, so that's the reason why you keep asking the question. You do not want the question to come to an end. When that comes to an end, there will not be anybody left there to find out the meaning, the purpose, and the significance of life. So it circles back to what I explained. We must find a new thing to find out about so that we don't realize there is nothing there. That is unacceptable. accepting that there's nothing there. For we sense and perceive so much, how can nothing be there, right? Now, here's an excerpt from my book, I Subscribe. Our body was not who we were, but the ideas that we accrued. Myself was inside something empty, sitting in a corner with my shattered memories. There had to be a way out of this strange state. Maybe I needed to reset so I could forget everything, a restart of sorts, to go to my original setting. But that meant I was a machine. Thank you for listening.